Hey, what's up guys? It's the Pokeboy here, and today I'll be teaching you guys some very simple techniques that I use, and I know a lot of other people, like pros and very intense comp players use to enhance their game style to make sure they have a better chance of winning their fights and just not dying in general. All these tips will be able to transfer over to your gameplay relatively easy, in my opinion. I will learn this in a couple of days, just practicing 5-10 minutes while I warm up, and I was able to adapt and learn these things really quickly, and trust me guys, these things do make a very large impact. Make sure to hit me up with that like and sub so you guys don't miss any more of that content that I post. Hopefully I will start posting more often, and that you guys don't miss the live streams that I do basically daily. Anyways guys, let's get right into the video. We are right now. I'm gonna be showing you guys a few tips and tricks. I got my boy Midnight over here. He's flying all over the place right now. Come on, come here. There you go. Okay, so he's gonna be my assistant for this video, and yeah, we're gonna be trying to show you guys some easy tips and tricks that you can adapt into your game style that will be relatively easy to learn and will improve your skill. And if you can learn to master it. Yeah, guys, I learned this off a bunch of pros, so this stuff is kind of, what most people would recommend doing, but you're hearing it from a different person, not a pro, but I am a reliable source, in my opinion, not biased. Alright, so our first example, I'm going to teach you guys how to do some basic ramp rushing. I'm not saying this because you guys don't know how to ramp rush. I'm saying this because everyone always be making mistakes when they do ramp rush. Okay, so I got my boy Midnight over there. We're just going to reenact a very basic fight scene, one that you guys would see. For you intermediate and expert players, I will make another video guys for you guys soon, so be tuned for that. But this is mostly for the beginning players, players that haven't yet understand the fundamentals of basic build fights and stuff like that. But here we are right now. We're gonna start ramping up. So basically that's what you see. The players will approach each other. You'll kind of stand right here, and then right here is where all the action begins. You can kind of see what I'm looking at. You see two opponents ramping each other, and you may be like, yeah, pork chop, this already do this stuff. The Pokeboy, already do this stuff. This is what you see in your regular fights. And you're right, this probably is what you're doing in your regular fights for you beginners. And I'm not trying to knock your hustle, but that's that would be normal for you guys. But really the problem here is you're starting to change up how you play as soon as you make direct contact with the opponent. What you're doing and what should be learned as you keep on playing the game is you should start kind of, how do I put it, branching off from your opponent, or trying to switch up what you're doing before you make direct contact with the opponent. Because if you start just ramping and then you hit your opponent's builds, then you already know you're going to be in big trouble. Your opponent is going to have the full advantage of the game, and it's going to be harder for you to win your battle. So we're going to do this again, and I'm going to show you what you guys should be doing. Let's just act like once again, me and Midnight, we're going to be ramping up your average player, and before you start hitting anybody, you should already be ramping up and getting separation from your opponent. Now it differs for everyone's play style, which is basically how you feel like your strong suit is when fighting, but my general rule of thumb is not trying to get more than one layer. As you can see, if you're standing right here, one layer of building before anything would happen. Because if you take your hands into chance, obviously you could get lucky and win the fight, or you couldn't win the fight, and odds are just not something you want to do when it comes to getting better at the game. So as you can see, one build off, he couldn't really get anything on me because he couldn't yet see me, since I was still branching right there. And as you can see also, I have the high ground, so which means I can make a lot more options with the plays I have in my hands. So once again, I will show you guys one more time what I mean, a little slower this time Midnight, so we can show these people how it's done. 3, 2, 1, and we start building up. As you can see, we're going to be going like this, and before anything happens, we're getting some motion in, and we're bridging off from the people. So as you get better, you realize that you can adapt your play style, and you can kind of get more advanced with how you build. But for now guys, this is pretty much all you need. Tip number 2, obviously I'm going to use my assistant Midnight here again. Go subscribe to this YouTube channel, but I'll leave it linked. I want you to box up in a 1x1 Midnight, no cone. Alright, so right here guys, we have basically your simplest version of cover when you're trying not to get hit from all sides. It's called a 1x1. You guys should also know a little bit about this, because if you watch your favorite streamer do this stuff, or if you watched a friend play, most people should know how to do the basic 1x1. Boom, pow, bit bop, boom, pow. Okay, very simple, very simple, very easy. Obviously, it starts by putting the wall, and then you can either start by doing a 360 with the walls, or you can put a cone. And this is your basic cover. And Midnight, can you try shooting me from any direction at all? Is there anywhere you can shoot me from? Top, bottom, left, right, upside down, backwards? Anywhere? Anywhere? Nope, that's what I thought. So basically, easiest form of cover. You'll cover yourself. But anyways, I'm trying to teach you guys how to fight against this stuff, because most of the time, if you're listening to my tips, then you should be able to take control of a fight from your first tip. So let me teach you an example. So let's say, okay, let's just reform that stair thing again. Let's say, you know, you got separation, right? Now, a couple things can happen. We're going to show you an example. The opponent will box up, and what will happen is they'll probably bridge off and box up, or they'll try to fight you if they are a little more on the risky side. Now, depending on what happens here, if they do box up, and if I can do that right now, if they do box up, as you can see, they're going to have some cover, and, you know, you're going to have to figure out how to do this from here. Now, what most people will do, and I'm not trying to knock your guys' hustle again, but what they'll do is most people will just drop down, and one or two things will happen. For both what Midnight will do and what I will do. Okay, two things can happen. One, you will pull out your gun, and you know, you will just start ram rushing into his box. Now, there are downsides to this and there are upsides to this. The downside is when you're spraying someone's wall, you are ultimately giving yourself no reaction time and no buffer when it comes to what your opponent will do. So you're looking at what you're doing, and you have to understand that your opponent also will have, you know, a decision to make. It's like playing chess. You know, your turn will ultimately affect your opponent's turn. So let's just say I was spraying this wall. Let's see what any normal play would do. Like, let's say Midnight, if I start spraying into your wall, what would we do? Obviously back up, and now look where we are. We're basically screwed. This is all his stuff. We have nowhere to go, and yeah, this is a GG's right here. This is what we call game point or checkmate in chess. Let's try that again. So obviously this can also be used as some offensive reference for you guys. If you guys end up in a box like this and you see an opponent hard R'ing and hard W keying you, and you know, they're just going like, obviously they're gonna just pull up, either try to escape or just full box you, and you know, you'll be there. So, next thing you can do, you can here, can I full box again? There you go. Next thing you can do is people will just pickaxe into your wall, and yeah, I mean, it's basically game. Anyone that's been just open them is just gonna leave themselves on open and just try to jump into your wall. Obviously it will not end well for you, and your opponent will probably get a free kill. Now I'm gonna teach you how to counter both of these things. So basically, if you're still right here, let's say we were from the start again, and it was just right there, and you're on top of here, don't just drop down. I mean, it's probably the worst thing you can do, because your opponent can just literally edit a window, anything, and just shoot you, or they could just full box you, and it's just gonna be game from there. Yep, there you go, just like that. Now, if you're gonna be in the lower division ranks, or you're just playing pubs, you probably won't have to worry about things like that, but this is for you guys when you get better. And your best tip is pickaxing from either the side, so don't go into the center. No center. Center is bad. Side. So it doesn't have to be like right here. It could be like right here, or it could be right here. But you're gonna have to teach yourself, and this is pretty easy to remember. Just stay to the side. It doesn't matter. Well, it would matter depending on which way you know, the fundamentals work. It's right hand peaks. So you obviously will have the better advantage having a right hand peak. Because a minute, if you edit this right here, how much of it can you see? Half, right? Yeah, roughly half. I can see 100%, and if I shot, I would hit 100%. And your angle, Midnight can barely see any of me. So obviously, when it comes to trying to take, you know, trying to get into someone's box and try and just deal, you know, offensive damage to them, just in general. You were still to the right, and you know, you're like, okay, listening to Porky's direction so far, and I think I got this. Now, there's one more thing you have to do to, you know, to follow up with this. So when you're pickaxing their wall, obviously from the right side, you're gonna have to expect anything, because like I said before, it's a chess game. Your decision will affect their decision, and you always gotta remember that you gotta be one step ahead of your opponent. So for beginners, most people, you know, they won't full box you. They'll basically just edit a window. So let's just say you start pickaxing, right? And let's just say they make a very basic edit, nothing too personal, just a regular, you know, edit, a little slower than that, Midnight, just a little slower. No, they make a very easy edit. Now, let's just say we were looking at this in very slow motion. You can see how his blueprints in your hand. So, Midnight, if you were going for an edit, you can just see the blueprints in your hand, right? Right there. You can see the blueprints. This is the main sign that this man is about to do an edit play. And you can easily, remember guys, your shotgun, click the button, or if not, just scroll to your shotgun. And when he has his blueprints out, you can expect an edit. So when he does edit it, you will have an ultimate good position because you will be getting the first shot, and then from there you can back up and your opponent will now be on the defensive side. So once again, if you're gonna start playing offense and you start pickaxing the wall and Midnight's gonna start holding it, right? You see the blueprints in his hand, you want to take a step back, and you know he goes, he's gonna edit it. So he's gonna edit it and you can get a shot in right there. That's very basic, and you obviously will learn how to make this better as you go on, and I will be making an intermediate and expert probably class for this as well. So yeah, this is the second tip. Let's move on to the third one. If you guys also have any questions, obviously I'm always open to suggestions and questions. So let's move on to the third tip right now. Alright guys, for your third tip into becoming a stronger Fortnite player is obviously you have all types of guns. You have pumps, ARs, SMGs. All those types of guns are always at your use for disposal. I'm going to show you guys a quick AR tip that most people fail to see that really will improve your AR aim. And I also learned this from Martod's, so reliable source. I will definitely be going into detail on this one for a second because I truly despise Bloom, and I will teach you guys how to be better with your AR aim. Okay, so we're standing right here. Obviously we're kind of in a standoff. Let's just build a little bit, you know, kind of get some builds in just to make this look a little more realistic. Midnight's there. If you can peek up a little bit more, because there you go, just like that. Midnight's there, I'm there. Okay, so immediately you could see that I'm standing in the very center of the window. You know, I'm wide open. You can see basically all of what you need to see. Yep, Midnight's getting some free shots in. Bad tip number one. Okay, let's just start with the basic editing, right? Obviously, you know how to edit. You would obviously press your editing bind. It would usually default to G. But if you guys switch that, do whatever you need to do. You would edit something and it would give you an edit, let's just like that, or like a door. Obviously they kind of correlate to what it actually would, you know, kind of look like. So let's just say, you know, you got a window edit right here. Now I would not recommend opening a window edit while you're standing in front of where the edit needs to be. So that's if you do anything like this, a window, or even a simple door. Always try to, you know, be to the side of it so that if the opponent does see this coming, you will have time to react and move out the way, or if you're already out the way, then that's good to go. That's good, you know, you're good to go. Okay, so let's get right to the AR point, right? Obviously, you would be standing right there. He would be peeking you, as any, you know, beginner would do. They wouldn't, you know, think too hard about what they were doing. They're just going to hold you at that window, thinking that you're going to peek there, right? And you will, with time. You know, you're looking at him and he's hard pressing you, right? He's just looking at you with that death stare that you know you just want to, you know, hit yourself in the face and see, you know, if I'm dreaming or something like that. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So you're kind of there and you're like, should I peek him? And you know if he starts peeking, that's good. So if you stay down like this and you're like, okay, what's the plan here? You can obviously, one, not engage. You know, you probably have enough space from right here that you probably don't need, you know, nothing drastic will happen if, you know, you stay calm and just back up. But let's just say you know, you're a hothead and you want to fight this man. So you're chilling here, and you know, you still got this window edit. He's still hard pressing you. Obviously, once I said this, fundamentals of Fortnite obviously go off of right hand peaks. So if I'm right here, he can barely see any of me, right? I mean, he can really just see my elbow. He can hit my elbow. My head's not exposed, my torso's not, and my legs are definitely not exposed because this is a window. So yeah, I can see him. I can still shoot him. He can see barely any of me. Once I said, guys, right hand peaks are the way to go. Always remember your right hands. Okay. Also, make sure that you're always going to be centered across the center line of their body. Now that may be a little hard to understand, so I'll break it down for you. If they're going to be standing like this position right here, obviously you can see that the top of their body is at the center of them. It's not. The bottom of their body where their legs are, that's not the center of them. Now I learned this from Martod's himself, the myth, the legend. Yeah, blah blah blah. I learned this from him himself. Never ever be aiming for the head, because if you understand how Bloom works, and I won't go into too much detail, but basically it will basically give you a trajectory of where the AR bullet will land, not off of where it already is destined to go. So let's just say if I had, let me just quick grab an AR or something with a bigger amount of bloom, an AR right here, and you can see my crosshair without ADSing, aim down sighting, is basically up to, you know, where the chance is. So if I were to aim with my crosshair dot right on his head, I will actually have a lower chance of hitting him than I am aiming at the middle of his chest and doing less damage. Because obviously, if you're new to this game, you should obviously know that headshots will do more damage. So if you aim at the middle of this guy's body and you're ADSing and you start firing, you will have a greater chance of hitting bullets than you will aiming at the top of their head and shooting. Because obviously, one, the bloom, and two, there's more surface area of the body to hit. Now that's pretty obvious. You may be saying, you know, P-Chop, I already know this stuff. Right. And I will show you how to master. Then you really should tell me why aiming for the center is more important. And if you do, then congratulations, you passed this one, and I will give you a strawberry cookie. Yeah, there is no strawberry cookie, so you definitely don't know this. Alright, so here we are, obviously lined up on the middle. Another tip that I want to tell you guys is crouching. Always crouch. As you can see, if I'm not crouching, you can see that my bullets will start traveling up. If I am crouching, see my bullets won't be traveling as far up. But anyways, once again, be crouching, be aiming at the center of their body, and start releasing the mags. The mags will start to fall, and your opponent will fall soon as well. Now, obviously, if you combine all of these together, let's just get this out of here real quick. Combine all these together, you're sitting here with the right hand peek, your opponent is hard pressing you, and you are like, alright, let's end this fight. Obviously, remember, if it's at a window edit, you really can't be crouching, but it won't hurt to back up a little bit. You can obviously back up, and you can also, you know, fire some bullets at them. But let's just say you were up to the window, obviously pressing the window, and you kind of like, yeah, let's end this. So center mass, just start releasing bullets. As you can see, our reticle is barely moving off their center body, and if this were to put damage, they'd probably be dead by the 9th or 10th bullet. And you know, how many bullets can you get on me? Not many, because as you can see with the right hand peek, he only has an elbow peek of me, and I have a full body picture of him. That's tip number 3, and I'll be showing you guys the last and final clip in just a moment, guys. Alright guys, for your 4th and final tip, that will definitely be the most important one here, obviously, is the shotgun. If you've ever played Fortnite, ever heard of Fortnite, you should know that the game revolves around this gun right here, the shotgun. The meta has been staying the meta ever since the game began. The main gun that everyone be carrying in their inventory, the pump. It varies between what you see. You know, there could be people that like to rock with, you know, the charge, the lever, all those guns that you guys probably have seen once or twice before in a pub game or a arena game, if you guys want to play that. Yeah. So here we are right now. I got the basic blue, nothing too special, nothing too light. It's obviously a really good choice gun for shotgun wise. Now, I'm not trying to be a spirit crusher, but you know, you would always be from, you know, some type of standpoint with like a window or, you know, some type of like stair in the way, so you won't ever get a perfect lineup. This is where speed comes in. Now, for you beginners, you'll probably be setting someone that is not experienced at building as you are, and you can ultimately use this for your advantage. So obviously your opponent will be running around, jumping around, just shooting at you, you know, kind of like that type of stuff. And from your point of view, you're like, hey, yo, you know, P-Chop's tips are really doing me a big favor here. So obviously you'll put a wall down. This many you can do, and you'll edit your right hand window. This man will be hard pressing your window like a weirdo, and if you're looking at it from his perspective, and if we can change spots real quick, and you stand at that right hand peak, I can barely see his elbow. No, nobody will shoot at that. I can now see him, not see him anymore. Edmund, I do have a headlock on me. That's a yes. Now if you take aim and fire, will you hit me? That's a yes. Now obviously we're going to trade spots once again, and we're going to show you this in more detail. So you got the deadlock headlock. This man's going to be pressing the window. Let's just say you got a full box right here, as I showed you a full box. You guys are learning well. Alright, when you're standing right here, I can get a good deadlock headlock on him, and he can barely see the tip of my elbow. Okay, so now you're here and you're like, okay, bet. So I remember what he told me. Obviously ADS, tighten the spread, and no aiming for the head only. Body if you just want to just get some damage in, and for the neck if you are a little more experienced with your aim with a shotgun. You shoot it right here, I can see him, Minute can barely see me, chunk the damage, and I can simply just back up and do the same thing again. Now if your opponent once again is very hasty and he pulls out his pickaxe and starts trying to pickaxe into my wall, once again, oh, he's flying a little bit. Once again, you can easily just hold the wall, and when the time is right, you can either just jump in, like, you know, got the shotgun on him, you're ready to shoot him, and you'll aim up a shot, or you can do, and if you're really talented, you can edit right hand window and a stair. This will either push him backwards, so if he started backing up, he would obviously get caught on the stair, and you can get another shot in. You'll put him in so much shock that this man will basically go into a coma. Or if he's got a gun in his hand, like an SMG, even I do got an SMG on you real quick. Do you need one? I can give you one. Nope, an AR, that'll work. And just start spraying into the box. Obviously, you can back up that stair, and if he keeps on suppressing you with the AR, obviously you can trap him in the box, and you got yourself a full box. Now, and you can kind of just wait for him to make the first move, and you have the upper advantage. Boom, and it's game. That's the fourth and final tip, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this. Shout out to my boy Midnight Holler at your boy. His YouTube channel is in the description below. And yeah, guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in my next video or my next live stream. Peace out, guys.